Hello and welcome back to the Making Fire podcast. This is a podcast where two longtime besties talk about their favorite TV show. This week we are doing Rewind. I remember that night I just might. I remember that night I just might. I remember that night. I remember that.
Wait, what Miranda is on the phone.
He's got him on speed dial. We are reviewing Rewind reviewing Survivor China. We are on episode 5, but before we get into the dirty deets, Maddie, how are you?
I'm pretty good. This is being recorded after my trip home, which almost all of our viewers would know that. Which was so much fun. And it was so fun to see Riley in person and of course my family and everyone. And I'm so excited because weren't we talking about what to do for our year anniversary?
Yes.
Well,
yes.
Riley's going to be coming to visit me around our year, and so maybe we can record something fun. Which I'm very excited about.
Y'all are not ready.
And neither are we.
Shh, don't let them know that. Don't let them know that.
Anyways, yeah. It feels like we haven't recorded in so long because we recorded 2 episodes last time we recorded.
Like 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, which is crazy. So, anyways, that's it for me. How are you?
I'm so good. I'm living my life. I okay, no. I'm gonna talk about this because I just want to talk about it. Is that I've been watching Love Island, and Maddie knows this because it's been a really quick turnaround because we hung out on, it would have been Monday night last week that we hung out. Oh my god, I could not believe that we saw each other. That was last week.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? I feel like a lot has happened since. Like, I guess it's a little bit over a week ago. It's almost 2 weeks ago at this point. But anyway, so last Monday, Maddie and I hung out for the first time when she was back home. And I was telling her, I was like, I really want to watch this Love Island season that's going on. I have never watched Love Island. I've never been one for the romance competition reality shows or like romance reality shows in general. But all of the reality TV girls on Twitter are raving about this season of Love Island. And I said, I have to check it out. The con for me is that they have 6 episodes. Well, technically kind of 5 episodes a week because one of the episodes is a recap episode during the week, like an after show. So it's really only 5 episodes, but 5 episodes is a lot. That's 2 more episodes than a Big Brother season does in a week. So I'm like, this is crazy. But girl, I have been in it. I am in it deep at this point. We are, I think episode 21 was last night. So like 3 weeks in, I'm fully committed. Maddie, do you know what Casa Amor is?
Yes.
Okay,
also, I have a question. How long are each episode?
Like an hour.
So it's like 5 hours of content.
Yeah. I usually what I've been doing is I don't watch it live because I have a hard time because it happens at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, which is still pretty early in the evening for me. Like I'm off. Usually I'm at work or I'm eating dinner or something with my family. So sometimes I miss it, but it is a lot of content a week. But if you think about it, like Big Brother, you have like 3-hour episodes, 1 hour episode 3 times a week, but then like all the live feeds that you watch, if you're like a live feed viewer, it averages out to more than 5 hours a week probably. But anyway, I am in it. Casa Amor just happened. It's going insane. By the time you guys watch this, the aftermath of Casa Amor will have happened, which is insane. So future Riley, I'll be gagged and gooped. But it's been insane. I was writing really hard for Serena, for any of our viewers that watch, all of you out there, I know you're watching, that also watch Love Island. I have been writing hard for Serena and Cordell, but Cordell has been a messy, messy man in Casa Amor, and is probably not looking great for both of them. They did last episode, the gag of the girls for the episode was that they recorded some of the conversations that happened at Casa Amor for the guys with the new girls, and then sent it to the original girls. For those who know how to, anyway, if you don't know how Love Island works, that sounds kind of confusing. But anyway, the girls were let in on a secret, basically, that the guys don't know that they were let in on, and it's going insane. The couples are crying. It's wild. And
I
I'm living for it.
I want to watch it so bad. I just like the barrier to entry of like
Yeah.
needing to watch so much. It would take, I don't even know how long it would take me to get through like a season.
See, that is like I started with I think I started when there was like 11 episodes out of this current season. So
Mhm.
I had to play catch up hardcore. I like the first 2 days that I watched like 5 hours straight of Love Island, like while I was doing like before I had to leave for my actual job. Or I think I had like the days off. Monday or two, yeah. I started that Tuesday because I didn't work that Tuesday. And so it was basically just waiting to hang out with you Tuesday night. And so I just spent all day while I was working on stuff on my computer watching it. And it took me a while. So it's definitely like a at this point, wait until next season.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't know. It's your life. You do what you want to do.
Well, I
But
haven't seen any spoilers, so I can always start from whenever. But that's also my problem with Big Brother is like I really want to watch it, but I just like cannot commit to that much.
it's hard with the Big Brother episodes too because if you're not keeping up with the live feeds or at least keeping up with like update people on like social media, you're really missing the whole picture.
Yeah.
Because Big Brother's gotten to the point where it's very much just an edited show that really highlights around it's like challenges and twists because that's what a lot of the casual viewers gravitate towards. Like the people who are only tuning in to the TV show are watching for the challenges and are watching for the silly moments. But then
Mhm.
people who like the strategy and like the social developments and the relationships, you really only get that when somebody just blew down the driveway. You only really get that when you watch the live feeds, but live feeds can be so like it's hard to sit down and watch people do nothing in a house just for the one conversation in a 24-hour day that is like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Anyway, but
Yeah.
this isn't a Big Brother podcast. This isn't even a Love Island podcast. This is a
It's already
Survivor
starting.
podcast. Let's talk about Survivor. So, like Maddie said, it's been a minute since last time, and I was gonna do like a little recap, but then I was like, there's really no point of us doing a recap because if you listen to the podcast, you just watched the last episode, so whatever. But refresher, Dave gets voted out, and it was kind of there was is it going to be Dave or is it going to be Sharia? Like what is going to happen? And it ends up being Dave that gets voted out, which is like
I'm happy about it.
me too. Bye. It's he was just like just such a
Just the
weirdo.
worst. Yeah.
The worst. So I'm not missing him, and I'm glad Sharia's still in the game, and that's where we're at. And we go post tribal. I guess it's like the next morning, and Frosty's having kind of like a moment. He's like, "We need to change things up. We cannot keep going to tribal. This is like demoralizing, and it's not fun."
He's like, it's not exciting anymore when we keep doing this.
No, I can imagine you get so burnt out. Like imagine having to do this day after day after day. Not only it's the losing the morale, like you lose a challenge, which is not fun. You don't get a fun reward, not fun. And then you're having to vote a friend or at least like somebody you're close to off, like you're destroying somebody else's dreams.
Mm-hmm.
Like there when it's in moderation, where maybe it's like back and forth, it's like okay because there's some time in between to recoup. But when you're going back to back to back like that would drain me. Ooh, today drained me.
Yeah, and when you think about like who they voted out, none of that like I wonder how different things would have been if like Ashley was still there.
Mm,
But with the rest of them, it's like theoretically they should be like getting stronger, like more competitive in challenges, but
hmm.
then they just keep losing. So yeah.
But it's like when you keep somebody like Dave around, I'm like, Dave really isn't a morale booster.
No, I would call him the
Like,
opposite.
yeah, I wouldn't like okay, you keep him down, but that's like the pro keeping him is like, okay, pro for camp life. The con is that um like losing morale. Like I feel like Ashley would have been somebody more fun to have around. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just don't think I would personally jive with Dave. Is
No.
all.
No.
But they didn't, and that's why they voted him out. So all's well. We see that Eric and Jamie are hitting it off.
Yes.
I have some bad news.
Huh.
I just found out that through listening to the Survivor 50 Wrap as a Podcast recap podcast,
Mhm.
they're going through every season and picking out people that they want on Survivor 50 from each original season. Anyway, I listened to the Survivor China podcast. I remember a couple weeks ago, I was like, oh my God, Eric and Jamie, they're married, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Apparently Eric was abusive towards Jamie, and Jamie very recently, within the last like 5 months, filed for divorce against him.
Oh.
So,
Sorry,
just that.
Jamie.
Sorry, Jamie. That's so fucked up. I'm so sorry that that happened to you.
Yeah.
And retract. I don't remember what I said about them as a couple.
I don't think you really said anything other than, oh, like, did you know they're married?
Oh, well, they're not anymore. So, we're rooting for you, Jamie, and fuck you, Eric.
Yeah, and your stupid little glasses.
Your stupid little glasses, and you know what? You're probably still a virgin.
Yeah. Probably.
So, I just want to put that out there. As we're watching this relationship progress, I think, I mean, it's not important to know. I mean, I guess it is important to know, but it's not like, obviously, it doesn't really pertain to what's happening in the season. And I'm like, okay, just know where this ends up. But Eric is a bad boy, is a bad man.
Oh.
So, but anyway, let's talk about how cute they are on the show together. So we see the beginnings of their relationship. Eric and Jamie are hitting it off.
Yeah.
And they're feeling really vulnerable with each other, which is something that you want in a game like this. Like, you want somebody that you feel like you can trust with information. But it seems like they trust each other with very different information. You know, Jamie's like, well, I think Eric was first. Eric needed to tell Jamie that he is a virgin.
Yes. And then she needed to tell him, I know about the clue to the idol.
If you think about weighing the importance of either of those messages, one I think outweighs the other.
Especially like right now.
Right now, like in the moment of the game of Survivor. Like, I don't think we're fucking in the marshes of China. I think you'll be okay a little bit. Let's hope not. But telling people willy-nilly about this idol, girl. Ooh, girl. Jamie felt comfortable. She was like, you know what, Eric telling me this.
And she's like, you know what, I've known him for 13 days.
I known him for 13 days. He's my celibate king. Like, live, laugh, love, Eric. Let me just tell him about I know the clue, which could have gone really. I think in this day and age, if this was Survivor 46, if this was Survivor 47, I think this would have backfired on Jamie so bad. Eric would have gone to everybody else and be like, Jamie knows. We need to get Jamie out. Like, I don't think there's a world where that doesn't happen in a new era season. But I think, like, at this point in Survivor history, the immunity idol has only been around for 4 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
So it's pretty like it's a new thing that people are learning about. And I think 4 seasons in, if somebody came to me and trusted me with information like that, I feel like that would be a bonding thing.
And you can really see that. I feel like especially throughout the rest of this episode, he is so loyal to Jamie.
Yes. Like a dog.
Yeah. Because he is a dog.
He is it. Oh, because all men are dogs. Stream. I'm a bitch. Wait, is that what it's called? By Marat. Anyway, sorry. She was on the most recent season of Drag Race. But this is not a Drag Race podcast. So we see that Eric and Jamie are bonding. That's kind of exciting. Potential for a pretty close duo on a pretty small tribe. I think that's really dangerous. To have such, I mean, I don't know how visual they are as a duo, but to have a duo like that on a tribe of 5 people is kind of scary. for
Yeah.
them, because like I feel like it could easily turn around on them, but also it's like if they're able to get power, like they obviously have PG and Sharia are like people are close to them. People like those two, so
I think it turns out pretty well from what we see, like especially later on,
mhm.
because it really seems like Jamie and PG are able to like they kind of feel like a duo, but then
Yeah,
Eric is able to be like with them, but more of like a middleman, get information kind of thing. So I
yeah.
think it's working out well.
It seems to be working well. We'll get more into it later. We'll get more into it later. We go to the Red Tribe. What is the Red Tribe's name?
Mm,
The Jean Hu and Fei
Fei
Long.
Long.
We go to the Fei Long tribe, and we see that Denise and James are bonding. Weird duo.
Where is Denise from? Do you know?
She sounds like Boston, New
Yeah, New
Yorky. Let
York.
me see.
Yeah, but then the
Denise.
mullet.
The Molds were in. They're back
Yeah.
in. Oh, not Survivor 45. Sorry, I don't know why I typed Survivor 40. There's not even a Denise on Survivor 45. I don't know why. Denise Martin is from Douglas, Massachusetts.
Okay. Yeah, I do see that.
Yeah,
Anyways.
you can hear it. Uh, she and James are bonding. I feel like this is the first game confessional we get from Denise. Like, I feel like last episode or the episode before when they got that fishing reward, we really got some like character confessionals from her. But this is like the first time she was like, "I'm really." This is a weird like episode for Denise because I feel like she starts emerging in a weird time. I'm like, why now in this episode are we suddenly seeing a lot of Denise? I don't
Yeah.
know. I thought this episode. We'll get into it. I thought this episode was so silly. Like there was a couple moments where I like, this is so funny to me. I don't know why. It's so funny to me. The Denise and James are bonding. Denise specifically, we hear it from her that she feels like this is a duo and that her and James get along because they're just like similar types of people.
Mhm.
So good to know that that duo is sort of bubbling under the surface as we see another duo emerging on the other tribe. Maybe Denise and James will get in a little bit of a showmance as well. We'll have to see.
Yeah. I'm on the edge of my seat for that one.
Oh, I can't wait to see how this turns out. We see a boat. Huh?
Yeah.
A boat? What could this possibly be about, Maddie?
Yeah. I wonder, I know like there's a lot more downtime in between like events in these earlier
I think they have a
seasons.
full day of rest. Like they have a full like nothing day.
Yeah, so I can't imagine how exciting it would be to be like, "Oh my god, something is happening." Like
Yeah.
we're not just stuck out here.
I can't imagine. Like everybody shits on the new era that it's basically like so quick. But then it's also like, what are the cons of having just like, I guess there's like a refresh day, but you know how much bad things could happen in just one day of Survivor?
Yeah.
Like having a full extra day that you have to worry about and like, I don't know. That's
Yeah.
kind of stressful. But the boat comes and we're at the Fei Long tribe and it hands Fei Long a scroll. And it says that you need to think about who the two strongest people in the other tribe are and circle their names and hand the scroll back to the people.
Mhm.
And they're going to come over to your tribe.
Yeah, I think it says that.
Um and they instantly are like, "Oh, we need to pick Frosty
In Sharia.
and Sharia." Which Sharia I understand. I would say Sharia is definitely like the strongest girl in the game at this point,
I
like
would
physically.
definitely pick Sharia.
I feel like I would have picked Sharia and Jamie or like Sharia and
I
PG.
I feel like I might have picked Sharia and Eric even.
I think to me, I'm like they know Jamie a little bit already,
Mhm. Oh, that's
and
true.
I don't know. I guess it depends how you want to look at it because they're gonna have either tribe is gonna have advantage numbers wise on the new people, But to me, I'm like, okay, well, bring somebody over, especially if I'm like we'll see it later. If I'm somebody who doesn't like John Robert and I'm going to be left with John Robert, obviously they didn't know they're going to be left with John Robert, but like I would want somebody that I could possibly have in my corner to help vote somebody like John Robert out. But I think Eric would have been a good option too.
I guess maybe
I
I
guess
do get Frosty. He was doing really well,
yeah.
especially in the early challenges of like being able
Mhm.
to just jump over things and whatever. And he seems like he tries hard. I think with Jamie, I wonder what her dynamic is with the rest of the tribe because I know she was really close with the Christian radio host,
Leslie.
Leslie. And now that Leslie's gone, it's like, whoa, what are her connections anymore?
And I don't know, like Todd knows that Jamie gave Leslie the idol thing, and
Mm-hmm.
Leslie went over to their camp. So then it's like, okay, Jamie comes over. Todd probably, because he seems to be a smart man, probably
Yeah.
pieces together that Jamie probably has clues to the idol too. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of potential what ifs there, but they end up picking Sharia and Frosty, and I don't know why I didn't remember this. I was annoyed at Aaron at first, being like, "Well, what's the twist to this?" And then everybody else in the tribe was like, "Well, I think it's pretty obvious. Like they're gonna give us two. We're taking two people, and they're probably taking two people." And so then they all start thinking, "Who are the two people they're gonna take from us?" But first, Aaron was like, "But what's the catch? Like we're not just gonna get two people, right?" And everybody was like, "Right. Like that would be stupid. Why would we just get two people?" Well, then we pan over to the Jean Hu tribe.
And they fully think that they're just gonna get two more people.
They're joyful. They're jubilant. They say, "Oh my god, what did we do to deserve this?"
This is crazy. We're gonna have 7 and they're only gonna have 5?
Like this is a complete game changer. Like the way that they're not even good, and we get the two strongest, so we get to keep all of our strong people, and we get their strongest people.
I know this is flashing forward a little bit, but then when Sharia finds out that she's leaving, and then she's like, I don't know why we thought that. That was so dumb.
It was them opening up the thing, and Sharia going, "Oh! Oh my god!" and grabbing onto Jamie and being like, "Oh my god!" Like, I need y'all to get it together for 1 minute and use the one brain cell that you all collectively share. Why did y'all think you were just gonna randomly get 2 new people and nothing was gonna happen in reciprocation? Like you thought you were just getting 2 new people, nothing else was happening.
It is unfortunately fairly obvious at this point why they keep ending up on the bottom. I'm not sure they know what they're doing.
I don't either. You know who would have known? Dave. Dave would have got it together, and then y'all voted him out.
Yeah.
Right. Reflect on that. Right. So the boat comes to the Jean Hu tribe, and they get the same thing. They got to pick 2 people, and it seems pretty quickly they're like James, and then I think Aaron is just like okay, he seems to be the leader. We'll take him. It'll be good. So we're gonna get James and Aaron, and it'll be great. We're gonna have 2 strong people. So then the boats basically swap. They pass each other.
Which I loved that shot of them waving to each other.
Great. This was great for season 15. I think this era of Survivor has a really good, not to 180 this conversation, has a really great like cinematography. I think that's one thing that I love about Survivor. It's something that's remained in all 46 seasons is this show has great cinematography and like interactions with the nature and like parallels between nature and the players I think is really interesting, and even just moments between the players like when they're on the boats. It's so stunning. It's so beautiful.
Good.
It's so silly. It's so good. It's fun TV to watch. But they swap their people. Like we said, Sharia and Frosty were gagged and gooped. That they had
They're crying on the boat.
They're crying. They fully did not expect it. The Fei Long tribe is like, oh my god, I cannot believe they took James and Aaron. Like this is gonna be wild. And they swap people.
Yeah.
I think this is a really shady swap twist. I think if I were one of the 2 people picked that I would be shitting myself.
Yeah.
Like this is so daunting. so daunting.
Yeah. And it's tough because I would argue that losing James is crazy and that it's definitely like what is how it's not necessarily equal.
No.
And yeah, that would be so tough, especially to be like James and Aaron knowing that you're going to a tribe that keeps losing and like
Hmm.
seems just like so dysfunctional.
Yeah.
Um I would be like, "Oh my god." And switching camps, that if I showed up to the Jianhu tribe and I saw what I was going to be living in, I would be like, I actually don't know if I'm meant to be here. I think I
I don't know if
actually
this
need
is
to
my
go home.
destiny. I don't know if this is my destiny
I don't
child.
think
Like
this is right
this.
for me.
I can't do it. I can't do it. I would have cracked under the pressure. I think this is an evil twist. I think it's intriguing, like picking who you want on your tribe.
Hmm.
And I think ultimately, again, to jump forward a little bit, I think that the Jean the Jeanhu girls, Jamie and PG, um, play it really well. Like I think strategically, this is how this swap is meant to be played, right? Like you get to hand pick who you want out and using your process of elimination, right? Like at this point, this is episode 5. 4 people have gone home. The merge is on the horizon.
Hmm.
So now you're thinking about who do you not want to merge with. It's less about tribe strength and more about okay, who can I not compete against? And I think that's a really good mindset to have. So I think like PG and Jamie played this swap really well, but I that doesn't take away that I think this is a really
It's so
soul
messy.
crushing. It's so messy. Like getting picked like that and taken from your camp and like only two people too. Like that is a crazy swap. Like
Yeah.
if I was Sharia and Frosty, I'd be pissing myself. I'd be like when I see the Fei Long tribe. That's so scary.
Yeah.
Um, we talked about these are whoa. We talked about these were emotional moments for them. A lot of crying on the boats. A lot of like, what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? But it ends up being like okay, like nothing crazy. Nothing crazy immenses at first. Obviously, we see Jean Robert as the swap is happening. Jean Robert pulls the Fei Long people and is like, we need to stick together. We have to vote off Sharia and Frosty.
I like that when he's saying this and he's like laying on the ground just being like very Jean Robert.
Yeah.
And then Todd or Jean Robert's getting kind of like defensive about it because like no one really seems to like want to have this conversation and whatever. And then Todd's like, but like he says it very quietly. Like, why would we want to vote out Sharia? She's really strong.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, that's so funny. I love like these little comments. But yeah, Jean Robert's not taking it well. And I think that Sharia and Frosty, at least in this point, especially Sharia, we see a lot more of her this episode.
Mm-hmm.
She lucked out so hard going onto a tribe that with someone that everyone hates.
Yes.
And she like blended in seamlessly with everyone.
Yeah. It seemed really well. It seemed to work really well. And I agree that it was lucky for both of them, but they're not good. Like the Fei Long tribe is not a good actor. Like I would not be talking shit about John Robert in front of them. I mean, I guess at this point it's not like a visitor situation. Like this is like a swap tribe. Like this is an actual new tribe, so you
Yeah.
can't really hide those dynamics that way. But it was a good. I would be happy to have been swapped on a tribe like that with that sort of relationship dynamics.
And Sharia was already on the chopping block on her old tribe, so really
Yeah,
she had nothing to lose, in my opinion.
yeah. Well, I think it was a good situation. They James and Aaron land on the Jianhu tribe, and they're like, "Oh wow, this is
Something.
interesting. This is interesting." The boats that take them end up giving them baskets of like fruits and wine. I think I don't know if there was any other real substantial food, but
I was like, this is a big bounty for
Yeah.
such. It didn't feel like that big of an occasion, like, or like a milestone.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was funny.
It felt weird. Yeah, it felt like a weird thing. Like the wine, I think, is what got me. I'm like, why are we just trying to get these people drunk right now?
Yeah.
I like whatever, but make it even a messier swap. Whatever. Do what you need to do, CBS producers. This is crazy. I imagine they have no food in their stomach and they're just shoveling wine down,
Wine and fruit.
wine and fruit. That's gonna keep you going. The James asks the OG Jean Hu group, like, what's the dynamic here? Who's the brains of the operation? And they're all like, we all kind of like hit the mark, like we all kind of do puzzles and it just like works how it works. Like we just keep ourselves afloat. And I'm sure James was like, right, right,
James,
right.
I think it might be at this point his comment of like, these people are like too chill. Like,
Yeah.
he liked how much more sort of intense and like strict, I guess, the dynamic was at Fei Long. So going to
Hmm.
John Hu and he's like, you guys keep losing, but like you're not put together at all. Like you have
Hmm.
no motivation to do anything. What?
Like, you need. I think that's obviously not. I think we know that's what's been missing. Like that's what's been missing since day one is that nobody wanted to take that responsibility. But then as soon as somebody did take that responsibility, a target got put on their back.
Yeah.
So then why would anybody want to do it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like, I will get the water. I will do literally
Literally
everything. I
everything.
need you to focus on
Yeah.
doing the challenge.
You need to get mentally prepared because we're not losing
Because
again.
you're lacking
I
in
wouldn't.
both at the moment.
Yes, exactly. I would. I would be upset if I was James and Aaron. Like you said this earlier. Like I would not want to be as James, arguably, be the person that's been winning these challenges for your tribe just to come onto the losing tribe. Ooh, that would set me off. Ooh, that would piss me off. Not good, not good. They have their first night as a new tribe, and we wake up in the morning at the Fei Long tribe, and Jean Robert is up. He is. He made the fire. He has some rice going. Like he's getting the day started. This is a shock because this is very unlike the Jean Robert we've come to know and hate.
Yeah. Who
It,
his priority is usually resting.
resting for the challenges.
Yeah.
He is very quick to take the sort of leadership role. And he's like, we need to get up and get going. So he goes to the shelter where everybody's asleep. And he's like, good morning. I started the fire at full volume, no whisper. Sharia, I need you to make the rice. Denise, I need you to help. I need you to get up and help me with the net. I need you to do all these things. We need to collect firewood. And Denise is like, slow your roll, buddy.
Yeah.
We ain't never done this before. I don't know why you thought today was the day. Today was the day to start doing
weeks.
it. You've been here for 2 weeks and suddenly...
He got enough rest.
Denise says really well that Jean Robert is strutting his feathers. And I think it was so funny. I was like, no, you're spot on. Like, why is... That would have pissed me off. If I was somebody on Jean Robert's original tribe and I saw this little performance he's putting on, I would have snapped. I would have been like, oh my god, I'm going insane right now. So you have the capability to do this the whole time? The whole time.
Yeah, instead you're making James do everything for us. But now that he's gone.
Jean Robert just has a problem with like being in a position of authority. Like this is something that we've seen be a reoccurring problem with him is the fact that he doesn't know how to lead, but he wants to be in that position. Well, I don't know if he even wants it, but he acts like he's in the position of like leadership, but he doesn't know how to do it.
Well, he
we saw this.
acts. He's like, I have to do this. He's like, this is my job at this moment. Like, I don't mean to interrupt you, but when he was like translating. And then he was like barking orders at everyone. And he's like, I was translating. I wasn't telling you to do it. You were telling them to do it.
That's
They
exactly what
didn't.
I was about to
They didn't
say.
say it to you with that tone.
Exactly. Why are you trying to throw us around like that pisses me off, and it's not a way to lead, and it's not a way to get people to like you, and because that's ultimately what you're trying to do is get people to like you, and you're not doing it well. It's it's just a bad way to go about it. And I think like Sharia has a good comment. She was like, "Oh, so you get the woman to come on your tribe just so she can cook for you?" And then
Yeah.
Courtney's like, "This is how it is. This is how he always is."
Yeah.
It's like upsetting. Oh God, I don't like his OG tribe just does not give a fuck. They're like, "Get him out of here." Like, we hate him. We do not like John Rivera. Like, I don't know how many different ways we can say it. We don't like him. He's not like this. He's annoying.
Yeah.
The other tribe, we see the new Jean-Hu tribe. Aaron is in the water with PG and Jamie, and they're sort of asking him about like his vibe, and they're like, "Well, you would vote out James, wouldn't you? Like, come emerge, you would want him out pretty early." And Aaron's like, I don't. I mean, I'd have to think about it. Ooh, that was your first mistake. You should just lie to their face, Aaron. What are you gonna?
Just
What?
go with it.
Go with it. Because if they're asking, like, you would vote James out, yeah. You go to James and you say, they just asked me about this. It's not true. Like, they're scheming.
Yeah.
That's really all you would have to do. And then James would be like, okay, I get it. So then if they come to me, I know that you were lying in that moment.
Yeah.
Really easy way to work around it. And then both parties leave happy. That would be the way I'd approach it. Because what are they going to do? Go to James and be like, Aaron wants to vote you out? Why would they do that?
Yeah. No.
It doesn't make any sense. So Aaron's basically like, I'd really have to think about voting James out. I'm not sure at this moment. And that starts the cogs rolling. But Aaron was not like hesitate. Like he was throwing James under the bus.
Yeah.
He called James an immunity hog.
Yeah, like he could be in the future.
Yeah. He said, and I quote, "What we like to call an immunity hog." And I thought to myself, "Who's we?" I've never heard this term used before.
Never heard that before.
Interesting.
Yeah. He definitely should have played it cooler. But
it was doing a lot. Like I remember that was the lead up to them asking that. Was that he was like kind of low key throwing James under the bus, and then when they were like, "Would you vote him out?" He was like, I don't like. I'd have to think about it. I'm like, you can't do all of that and then flop.
Yeah.
At the moment. So this gets the cogs turning, and PG and Jamie walk to the side, and they say, "Girl,
we gotta get them out.
We gotta get them out." Because think about the math, girl math. Stick with me here. Sharia and Frosty are on the other tribe. If they lose the next two, they're clearly the two that are going to get voted out.
Mm-hmm.
We have the majority numbers here. We can just throw the challenges and then just vote them off, and then we won't have to worry about them come merge. We'll get two of the strongest people out of the game.
Mm-hmm.
So not only will we be saving our friends who are clearly in distress, but we will be saving the day. We'll be getting the most powerful people out. Yes, they are the heroes.
Yeah.
So, yeah, were you going to say something?
I think it's so funny because now it was interesting to watch two people be like, no, this is the plan. Like, we are going to throw the challenge. Because now there's so much more, like, hesitancy around it. People are like, oh, like, people will talk about throwing a challenge in, like, Current Survivor.
In,
but then they're
Current Survivor, yeah.
But then they're like, no, we can't do that. Like, that's not honorable. We can't just throw the challenge. But I like how these two are just like, well, the only answer is that we have to throw the challenge.
The only answer. Like, this is the only solution to the problem that we're facing right now.
Yeah.
Is to throw the challenge. And they don't even tell Eric about it.
No.
Arguably the other member of their little alliance, they were just like, you know what? We just have to do it. We have to do it for the greater good.
And honestly, not to flash forward, but like it couldn't have been a better challenge to do it in.
No, it worked pretty well. We'll get into. Let's get into the challenge. So, the challenge itself is they have two people who are like diving into the water, and they have to like pull. I wasn't fully paying attention. I'm so sorry. They're like pulling the sticks out, right?
Yeah, to release like the big
Of the yes, things
circular
go up.
token things.
Yes, the puzzle pieces.
Yeah.
And then they had to like put the puzzle pieces in a boat and then drag the boat onto shore. And then three puzzle solvers had to take the pieces. It was like the Chinese zodiac, and they had to fit the pieces onto the puzzle. The shapes were different. It was interesting. It was fine, right? Normal challenge. Well, I don't know. I thought the challenge was silly, other than ultimately they do end up throwing it. But I will say that from the Fei Long tribe, the Fei Long flopped at the beginning. I thought it was so funny. Well, it was Frosty and Jean Robert, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And Jean Robert goes to jump in the water and tips the boat over
Yes. Almost
off the
knocks all
platform.
their things out.
I
All
was
the
like, I need you
pieces.
to be so serious right now. And the Jianhu tribe, the start, it was Aaron and Eric.
Mhm.
They did really well. They got off on a good start. They got the boat on the shore first. So theoretically, Jamie, James, and PG had a great early start to do this. Well, we're clearly throwing the challenge at people. So what is there to do other than to act like you can't solve the puzzle, throw a piece behind the challenge? Jamie takes one of the discs and frisbees it. I think the silliest part of this is the fact that Jamie and PG could not hold back their laughter
No, they
at
were
all
fully
during the whole
giggling.
process of this thing, fully giggling to themselves.
Why would that be
was
us though?
It would be us. Fully giggling, acting like they can't do the puzzle. So good. It was so good. I don't remember if this was during the challenge. I think it was after. It may have been right after the challenge ended or something. And James was like, I thought you were supposed to be good at. Oh no, I can't remember. It may have been Jeff that prompted it. I'm trying to remember exactly when this happened because I thought it was silly. I think Jeff was like,
Oh,
I thought you'd be good at puzzles.
Yeah. Yes. And then PG's
PG
like,
was
I'm
like-
good at Sudoku.
James goes, fuck Sudoku.
Yeah.
So funny. I was like, why would you say that? It's so funny to me. Such a random little moment. I honestly was like, this is a deep cut Survivor moment that I think is not talked about enough. Because James going, fuck Sudoku. Because he's right. What the fuck does Sudoku have to do with anything we're doing right now?
Well, then when they're back at camp and then it comes up again and then James is like, well, PG's like, well, Jeff asked me a question. I couldn't not answer it. And he's like, yes, you can. You can ignore him and focus on the challenge.
So funny. They ultimately end up, the Jianhu tribe ultimately ends up losing, kind of like a blowout loss. Like Fei Long is able to come back and do it, but obviously they were throwing. Jeff picks up the puzzle piece and was like, don't know if this would have been helpful for you, but here's your missing piece. And it was just like, I think what made it so good is that it was so unserious.
Yeah.
Like Jamie and PG were unserious the whole time. They were laughing, they were giggling. Jamie literally tossed the piece, did not hesitate.
Not sneaky about it either.
No, she just went, You could fully see it too. Like when they were doing the overview of everything and you just saw the yellow piece behind the challenge, I was like, it's not like it's hiding. Like you could very clearly see it. I don't know. I thought it was silly. So the Zanhu tribe goes to tribal. Back at camp. What's going to happen? James is a little bit of a freak out. And is like, I cannot believe that we lost that challenge. That was a crazy challenge. You two were supposed to be good at puzzles. You could not focus. It basically was like you guys weren't trying. I can't believe we have to do this. I would never, like, that is crazy. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, PG and Jamie are trying not to crack up in front of James. They are trying their hardest to not lose it in front of him.
Yeah.
They can't stop giggling. I'm like, girls, you gotta keep it together, girls.
I know. And then when James and Aaron pull Eric aside and they're like, are they always like this bad in challenges? And he's like, I don't know. Like, I don't know what to tell you. And then that's when they're like, we threw it to Eric.
Which is fun and all, but Eric, Eric is a man of God,
First and foremost.
first and foremost, and he's saving himself for marriage,
Yeah.
and he feels conflicted about this ethically. Lying is just not a bit. That's like, oh, why would you do that? Especially without telling him. And so he was like, well, I kind of feel like I'm stuck now. Because I don't really vibe with this throwing the challenge thing, but like ultimately PG and Jamie are like my girls.
Yeah.
And I don't want to like flip on that. So it's like, what's going to happen?
Mm-hmm.
Who's he going to side with? We all know who he's going to side with, but it's like, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? We get to tribal, and Jeff is not hesitating.
No.
Jeff basically, he is like, is it safe to assume that you threw the challenge today? Which is a crazy, I think that as like a host, like that is a too much, you should not ask that.
No, because you know that they threw it. You
Yeah.
need to I would have been like, wow, you guys did so bad, specifically at the puzzle portion. What was that about? Like, definitely lead them to try and get out that they threw the challenge, but like, I just do not think it was right for him to come out and say it like that.
I don't think so either. I think that was a weird, like, it felt production-y, trying to like egg everything on.
Mm-hmm.
If anything, like if James or Aaron would have been like, it feels like they threw the challenge, I think Jeff could have been like, is that true? Did you throw the challenge?
Mm-hmm.
But in Jeff's defense, they could have lied. They did not have to.
Immediately, yeah.
Jamie folded, said, yeah, we did throw the challenge. Girl, have some decorum. Stand up.
Yeah.
I wrote Jamie admitting they threw, Jeff throwing them under the bus. Oh, how the mighty have fallen.
Period.
Because it was kind of sickening, and then out of nowhere, like, I feel like that could easily be like a game ruiner.
Yeah.
Like, you send, like, say they all make it to the merge, James gets voted out early merge. If I were James, I'd be like, don't vote for PG or Jamie. They're challenge throwers. They're just taking the easy way out. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
I feel like that could easily persuade a jury. At this state of Survivor, where things like this aren't the norm,
Yeah.
I feel like it could really negatively impact your image in the game.
True.
Be seen as sneaky. So that flopped. They were like, yeah, we threw. Another funny moment from James. PG says, in response to throwing, PG says, it's not about winning the war, about losing the challenge. He says, it's not about winning the war. It's about winning the battles. And James says, you're not winning anything.
I do love James' honesty. I would be James in these moments. If I were in his shoes, I think he's keeping it together better than I would be.
I also think the fact is that James, it seemed like like Aaron thought James was going home. So it seems like the vibe is James was going home. And if I was going home because people threw a challenge to get me out specifically, like that would piss me off. It's basically like Maria going home in 46.
Yeah.
Like if I'm going home because people had to team up against me to get me out for a challenge, like that would piss me off.
Yeah.
So he is keeping it better, but he kind of like did not step off of PG's throat this episode. Like he was consistently like, fuck Sudoku, you're not winning anything.
Yeah.
Like you guys flopped that challenge. I was like, let her breathe just a little bit, but it was funny. I was like, you're so funny, James. It ends up being a 3-2 vote on Aaron and 2 votes on PG. Again, PG catching strays.
I thought it was nice that in the end James did not vote for Aaron. Even though it was very clearly going to be one of them.
Yeah. I agree. It kept it in a like Eric might flip situation, who knows? I don't think he ever would have, but it was I think it was good. It was a clean vote. Like strategy wise, I'm like, okay, this makes sense what you're doing. but the implementation, I think this has been the thing with Jean-Hu the whole time. It was the actual implementation of how they went about the strategy. I'm like, y'all were messy. Y'all were messy, messy, messy.
I know. Yeah.
But that's it. We now are the Jean-Hu tribe is now 4, down to 4.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows what's gonna happen next?
Who knows?
Do you have anything else to add?
I have a question. Have you ever been to Krispy Kreme?
Not recently.
Hmm. Same.
Right. Well, I guess that's it for our little podcast.
Yeah, forever.
This is the last episode. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
If you enjoyed, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe at our YouTube page. That would be so great. And follow us on our socials. You can follow us on Twitter and TikTok and Instagram at Making Fire Pod, not Tumblr.
Not Tumblr.
I almost said Tumblr again. And that's it. Follow us on socials. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Like the video. Pod. The VOD. I don't know. Is that what it's called?
Video on
And we'll catch you.
demand.
Sure. We'll catch you next week for our episode 6 recap of Survivor China.
Bye.
I can't wait to see how this turns out.